This is a CBC podcast.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Let's presume for a moment that somebody's listening to us driving to work this morning in Bridgewater, and they say, when I get there, I'm going to go on Second Life. What are they going to see, and why would they go there?
Well, the first thing you do see is the Help Island, which basically it's a tour, like a little tour of how to use the controls, the keyboard controls, how to walk, how to fly, how to use your inventory, things like that. So the first impression is not always a great one. You're going to have a whole bunch of people running around naked because they don't know how to put the clothes back on, asking all kinds of questions like, what am I doing, where am I going? And honestly, when I first joined, I didn't have a clue. It was not very impressive. My first impression was not all that impressive. The average age of people who join Second Life is about 35. So it's definitely a big kind of throwback to like people who were raised in front of a video game, myself included. So there's a whole bunch of video game kind of 80s kids running around. And it's just, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people join. I mean, obviously people join because they're bored and lonely. I mean, you get the typical, like, there's a lot of sex, a lot of casinos, a lot of gambling, a lot of very typical internet-type phenomenon going on in the world as well than you're going to find on the internet. But there's also a lot of artists. The artists join because they hear about this new platform, this new technology, and the fact that the web is going 3D. I mean, this is a 3D web interface, and big businesses are getting on. IBM has bought a lot of Sims. Playboy Mansion just went up last week, which is, tied into the whole sex thing. But a year from now, I mean, places like Walmart and big business and department stores are going to have virtual department stores. I mean, you can walk into a shopping mall in Second Life, literally walk up to a piece of furniture, zoom in with your camera, do a 360 pan, like see this piece of furniture. And I mean, you can't buy the physical object, but it's just a matter of time before big business gets in and says, we can make a totally virtual copy of our department store and ship to your house. So it's definitely the future of the web. I mean, 3D is definitely where it's at. They're also calling it the internet too. So it's just a matter of time before this technology just becomes really public. I was actually drawn there because there's a woman named Angie Chung who is the first U.S. dollar millionaire who basically came out of Second Life and made millions of dollars in this kind of, she's like a land tycoon, basically.
What does she do? Now, explain that.
She buys and sells land. I don't know. She must have had some kind of overhead, but she actually, Linden Land is the company, Linden Labs in Second Life. They built the first continent, and she basically invested as much money as they had invested and built her own continent that's hosted on the same servers that they use. So basically, she owns as much as they own. So it's a privatized version of Second Life within Second Life.
Now, in Galveston Island that you created,
yes,
you didn't create that so that you can sell me an apartment on Galveston Island or one of those cute little stilted cottages on stilts, did you?
Well, we do have cottages and we do have houses and commercial and residential land for rent as well. But the most part why they created it was because they were, Galveston.com is a tourism company. It's the official tourism company for Galveston. And they wanted to reach a broader audience and an audience that has not been tapped. So it's definitely a pilot project. It's never been done. So far, it's been amazing. I mean, they approached me specifically to create a project to push tourism. That is their main goal. That's their focus. They're not there to make Linden dollars or things like that. They're basically there to get the island out to the public so people can actually go sample the island, go to the Balinese Room for, a night of live jazz, live blues, or take a look around the Strand, which is a shopping district in Galveston, Texas as well, just to get a sample of the island before you book a flight and come on down.
And what you're attempting to create here really is, I would assume, slightly glamorized, but essentially an accurate portrayal of Galveston Island.
It's quite accurate, actually. Well, the thing is, when we discussed the initial planning, which took about 2 months, they gave me a list of buildings that are really well known. There's the Grand Opera House, there's the Convention Center, there's Moody Pyramids, which is there's 3 pyramids. One's aquarium with a biodome and science center, and that's also in Second Life. So there were a lot of key elements that they wanted in place, and that was pretty much the priority around that. So,
but first of all, how do they find you, and what qualities or what talents, what experience do you bring to their project that they would say, look, put NASCAD on hold there for a little while, Adam, come down to Texas and help us out?
Well, actually, I did about 95% of the project in Halifax while I was going to NASCAD. The thing is, it's probably the best part-time job you can have because, I mean, you can work pretty much anywhere in the world, which is the best thing about it. They basically just fed me like thousands of photographs. I mean, because they work in the field that they work in, they have access to like archives of photos like from pretty much anything you could possibly think of. So if I can get a picture of it, it's getting to the point where I can actually build it.
And how did they make a connection to you? How did they know about your design work, and how did you hook up with them?
Initially, it was last Christmas, 2006. I developed a project with some friends in World called Winterlude Village, which was replica of Winterlude in Ottawa. So they saw my Winterlude village, and they just kind of proposed me, and I just said yes. I figured I'd give it a shot.
And as you suggested, it is terrific that you can actually work from either a lab or a shop downtown, or you can do it from your home, or you could do it from anywhere.
Well, I have a laptop now, so I can pretty much work anywhere in the world, yeah.
Well, so why down to Texas now?
Why Texas now? Well, I just didn't have a good reason not to say no. I mean, they wanted me to come down all winter, and I was in school for part of that contract. And then they said, well, come down for the summer, walk around with your camera, take some photographs, get a feel for the city, and that's basically all I've been doing. I'm not really working here. The project's pretty much done.
Does Galveston look very familiar?
Parts of it look shockingly familiar, actually. Certain skyline views that I had created in World that I wasn't entirely sure about when I got here and saw them in real life. It was a little overwhelming, actually, to be honest.
Adam, good luck in New York. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
For more on all of our CBC podcasts, head to cbc.ca/podcasting.